Savvy Business Radio, drawing out the best from our guests with our host, Christina Nichman.
Our guest today is founder of YANTRA Beauty, Luca Burnett. It is never too late to find your inner brilliance. YANTRA Beauty products deliver immediate results that over time improve the overall health of your hair without having to add extra fillers. Good for the environment and for your hair. Find out more today and get your very own hair products for your hair at yantrabeauty.com. Hi, Luca. Welcome to Savvy Business Radio. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. I'm so excited to have you here today, fellow New Yorker. You're a bi-coastal and you started a wonderful beauty organization, beauty products that really help people, educate people on beauty, how to bring it into your life, fashion and beauty in the best way, and to add it into your daily living, YANTRA Beauty. And now you're working on the other side in California, is it?
Yep.
I'm
on close now.
Yeah. So you're going to share your journey with us. Share with the audience what even brought you into the beauty world.
Well, I got started with beauty in general. I was actually going into Columbia. I was going to go to Columbia in Chicago. I got accepted. And when I didn't want to come out with a double major art degree out of the Midwest, I was kind of looking for the next best thing where I could get into the fashion world and get into something that was adjacent to the fashion world, which is the beauty world. And so then I went down to the Aveda Institute in Orlando with my best friend at the time from high school.
Yeah.
And we both went down there and it really just took off. And I loved the beauty industry is a lot deeper than what a lot of people think it is. And a lot of the people that are working in the beauty industry are doing a lot more than just making somebody pretty. There's a lot more of an impact to it. So in finding that, I guess the passion for it kind of grew from that.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, Luca, I have had a passion for wanting to experiment with hair color. I have experimented with all the normal, somewhat shades of browns and beiges and black. And it was 2 years ago where I said, it was this kind of trend where people, even old people, middle-aged people, were dyeing their hair in funky colors. And I was like, yay, I'm finally going to do it. And I went out there and I dyed my hair pink, which I always wanted to do. In my 20s, I said to my girlfriend in high school, well, I would just entered out of college and said, I want to dye my hair hot pink. And my friend's like, no. You can only do that if you're a rock star or a prostitute. You're neither. And I was really, I was excited to finally do it. And now it's been 2 years of getting funky and trying a whole bunch of fun colors. And I just love it. It's brought like a fun aspect to my life. And I think that's what you're talking about when you say beauty isn't just skin. It's way deeper than that. It goes into being playful in your life and bringing out your personality. What have you found working with beauty?
It's exactly that. And it's like where everyone's always like fashion is a great expression of yourself, and you can show people who you are by the way you dress. And hair and makeup have kind of started to turn into that too, because before there wasn't a lot of availability with color, like fashion colors and all of that type of stuff, and it wasn't I guess socially acceptable.
Yeah.
Really, for it to be brought into your everyday life. But then that's kind of where our job comes into play, is how am I gonna be able to give somebody a fashion color because I know that they want it and still make it look classy.
Yes.
And that's been that's what the whole last like 5 years have been like for everybody, is kind of figuring out how we're gonna take people farther away from their natural color and give them something that's a shock factor for them in the best way, but still keep it in the realm of natural.
Yeah, it's so funny. Go.
Even like my sister is a pharmacist. She graduated valedictorian of her class, super smart. She's always like, I'm going to get my nose pierced. I'm going to dye my hair, blah, blah, blah. Never did it. Never did anything. And now that she has 2 children, she's in her 30s, we have her with like a multicolor balayage, like
Ooh.
She has like purples, greens, blues, everything in it. And she's going to work in the hospital
Yeah.
with her hair like that. And I'm like, you should. I'm like, I don't know why you didn't do this a long time ago, but she's also cheap. So
Yeah.
now that her brother does it for her, it's a little bit more fathomable. It's easier to swallow.
Yeah, rocket girl. And I love that
Yeah.
you say that. I mean, I think that sometimes expressing yourself, like, listen, I love pink. And I turned out that hot pink, would come out too easily and my grades would show too quickly and I have to dye it too often. But a lighter baby pink was amazing. Like, I wear a suit to work or working with some of my corporate clients and they don't even bat an eyelash. They're like, oh, you just look so pretty. And my friend said to me, it was funny when I first dyed it light baby pink. She was like, it's odd, but it actually looks more natural than your natural hair. And it's funny.
Right.
It matches my personality, that it's not like distracting. And I think that's one thing that a lot of, if you're in business, we're concerned with, that, if you had really funky hair or style or fashion, that would take away and distract people. But really, it doesn't have to. There's a way, as you said, and a lot of stylists like yourself have found ways to bring fashion and bring it into your everyday life where it makes sense. Like when you go to a fashion show and you see the catwalk, some of the outfits or some of the styles are just not practical. You're not going to sit in the mirror for 8 hours and try to put on an outfit like they're wearing on the catwalk. It's just not going to work in your everyday life. But there is a way to add fashion where it can work in your everyday life.
Yeah. And I mean, all of the, even when they had like the Met Gala this last time and they did Comme des Garçons and they had all of these avant-garde looks that were walking, there's always something that you can take from an avant-garde look and have like a real world application for it. Like regardless of even if it was just like the shoe or something that was a little bit off, there's always going to be something that kind of trickles down off of that avant-garde theme and trickles into like the wearable fashion. And I mean, that's the same thing for hair. You see everybody with like, there's these awards called the Naha Awards, and they're cut color and style. And these people do like sculptures in the hair, and it is amazing color, great, but it's so far removed from like an everyday hair, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
So like people take color schemes and stuff like that out of those things and let that apply to like their clientele.
Absolutely. And you said you came from the Aveda Institute, and I love that. I tried it for the first time last year. I actually had never heard of their brand, but I work with a client that is in Soho, and the Aveda Institute is right there. And they said, come on in, your first haircut and whatever will be $25. And I said, okay. It was a fabulous experience. The guy who was working on me did a great job. He took his time. He, put this nice mask on my hair and made it really soft and gave me a massage on my hand while it was in my hair. I was like, this is awesome. Yeah. And so I've often gone to hairstylists around New York, and they'll just say, okay, what do you want? Oh, I like a choppy. Okay, fine, sit down. And you show them a picture, and then it doesn't come out the way you want. They're not really getting in touch with your personality, who you are as a person. What are your needs in fashion and beauty?
Yeah.
And that is what you're doing. And also with the Aveda Institute, I'm assuming taught you, is to really become kind of like the doctor of beauty. I captured also from Yantra that you really are very important with using healthy ingredients that help your guests, the people who are coming in to get your hair done, is that you just don't want any product on your hair. You want something that is really healthy. There's so many fillers, as you said, and a lot of the hair products or even makeup we use, there's a lot of dangerous, poisonous things and toxic things in the stuff we use. So it's great that you really pay attention that the ingredients you use are really good for your customers.
Yeah, I actually just wrote a blog for Forbes and talked about the importance of us finding our chemists to develop with me, and how important that was and how difficult it actually was to find someone that wasn't white labeling or reverse engineering other products. And that's one of the things that I cannot stand in the beauty industry is it's like, as a hairstylist, it's our responsibility to make people feel good, number one, to empower people and have people that want to take advantage of that with like white labeling and reverse engineering is very odd to me because it's not coming from a genuine place. So it was difficult for us to find a chemist that was really down for creating something new, creating something different, working directly with me. There's a lot of companies that that will relabel a product, and it's the same product, and people wonder why like the shampoo doesn't work and why this doesn't work and why that's doing this. And it's like, because it's the same product, it just has a different label on it and a higher price point.
Whoa, that is really loss of integrity there. But yeah, that's one thing that is, it's sad when people do that, because I think you lose customers in the long run. You have to really think about the end result, that you'll get people to buy at the higher price point because you did good marketing and it sounds great. But when they start not getting results, you're going to not get return customers. And that's what you want. You want them to keep coming back happy and pleased. Now, tell me how you work with someone that might come in and they're really wanting to get, like I did, they want to try something new and get out of their skin. And maybe they wanted to try an ombre, what do they call it? That, multi-shade type of coloring. And they've never done it. They don't know where to begin. How do you help them get in touch with what might work best for them?
It's always important to ask, like, what they do for a living, so you know how crazy you can actually get. Like, I have my hands tattooed. Okay. And before I got my hands tattooed, my tattoo artist was like, what do you do for a living? Because I'm not going to do it if you have a 9-to-5. I'm like, I'm a hairstylist. He's like, okay, it's fine. We're going to go. So it's kind of like that, like where you kind of need to gauge, like, if they're doing a 9-to-5 or if they're a bartender, you kind of can gauge where they're at with it. Mm-hmm. I also usually give, I'll give my client, especially like with blondes, it's a little bit easier because there's a lot of blondes out there to go as examples off of. Mm-hmm. But I'll give like J-Lo, or I'll do Jennifer Aniston, Gwen Stefani, and Khloe Kardashian. And I'll have them pick between those three, because Jennifer Aniston is a highlight, Gwen Stefani is a double process blonde, and Khloe is like more of like a natural balayage. Mm-hmm. So then you can kind of gauge where they're at, and then whatever one they pick, you kind of can gauge their style with that and everything else. So I'll be like, okay, we're going to do something similar. We might just do like a face framing or something, like to give them a taste of it. Mm-hmm. And usually that taste is something that leads to like an addiction. And then in 2 years, they're like completely blonde and they have like a pink root and they are like, it's a shag and they love a lot of texture and volume now. Like it's a vicious cycle, but it's also like an amazing kind of journey to go on with it, because your whole style kind of changes as your hair changes and makeup changes and everything like that. So
yeah, absolutely. It's funny because I had always said in my 20s, I will never go blonde. I don't like blondes. I'd heard so many negative things about, blondes are, ditzy or whatever. And I was like, I didn't like the connotation. So I said, I'm never going blonde. But I'd always dye my hair like a reddish tint. I have naturally brown hair. And so I went to study abroad in Puerto Rico for 2.5 months, and hanging out on the beach for like 2.5 months every day. My hair got blonde naturally, just hanging out, in the sun. It was already dyed like a light red. And with the sun, being in the sun constantly, it turned to this reddish, naturally blonde. And I came back and everyone's like, you rock blonde. It looks awesome. And that began my journey of 10 years being blonde of different shades.
Yeah. And that's, balayage has been doing that a lot. It's a hand painted highlight. So that's been happening a lot more, is like, when people go down and get some sun or like go on vacation, and then they kind of come back with that natural highlight and then they want more of it. Mm-hmm. But as a stylist, if they come in for a cut and we start talking about color, they go on this vacation, come back, I'm like, I point it out to them. Like, I'll be like, oh yeah, it's just like this. It's like your roots are still your natural color. We just add in dimension. It's just dimension. They kind of see that when they go on vacation, stuff like that, when it does happen naturally, which is kind of the perfect mistake, if you will, with that.
Yeah, it can be. It can be a huge mistake depending on what you were planning. Yeah. Or a happy accident.
Don't ever use sun-in.
What's that?
Never use sun. It's like the spray peroxide from like way back in the day, like early 90s, late 80s. And you'd spray it in your hair, and you go out in the sun, and it was supposed to lighten your hair.
Yeah.
But it turns you orange.
Oh no!
Because it's just peroxide. Yeah, it's bad. My cousin did it one time and when she was like 13 and went completely orange. Oh, it was bad.
That is.
It was funny, but it was bad. We were hell-bent really on trying to get some way to bridge that gap between beauty and benefaction, where it's like, there should be some aspect of empowering in the beauty industry where it's very vapid and very vain. And so we have our 3 charity partners right now, and then we also just signed on another one, a 4th. And every purchase, 10% of it goes back to one of the charities, and that is at the consumer's choice. So on our website, it's actually a required field that you have to click and pick one of the charities for it to go back to before you can even get to the cart.
Awesome.
And they're very widespread charities too. We're working with School on Wheels, Charity Water, Hidden Warriors, which helps women with a cancer diagnosis. And we just signed on Children of the Night.
Oh, what's that?
Children of the Night is helping victims of sex trafficking.
Wow.
And so they fund to kind of reintroduce them back into society and help them with that process.
Wow.
And they're all smaller charities too, so it's kind of cool because as we grow as a company, you get to see the charities grow as well, right along with us. And you're not ever going to feel like you're kind of just like throwing money into the well. You're always going to be able to kind of see that money in action.
That's great. And I found the most successful companies are ones that are charitable, and philanthropy is a big part of their mission statement. Yeah. How can people find out more about you if they happen to be in California and want to come on by, or they can also buy your products online, right?
Yeah, everything that we're doing pretty much is on e-com right now. We're going into a couple salons in the next couple of months, and we actually are in New York in Soho at Perfumery down in on Broadway, I believe.
Ooh. I walk by there all the time. Yeah.
Perfumery is amazing. It's right by the Nomo Soho, that hotel.
Yeah, totally. I know them. Yay, I got to check them out. Yeah, I'm always around in Soho. So and I'm always on Broadway because I come off the N train there on Broadway on Canal. So I have to check it out.
That's really close to it. It's around the corner.
So what's in the plan for the next 5 years for YANTRA and yourself? Where do you see yourself going?
We are trying to, we have about like 22 tentative products that are on the lineup right now that me and the chemists are working on production on. Right now we're getting all of our packaging and all that gear together, and we have a shampoo and conditioner system that we're coming out with that's actually a completely customizable line for the client. So that one's coming out. It'll be out this fall. And we're really just we're focusing on getting into salons that are guest-based. So they have a really high retention rate. Their clients are like the clients that want their stylist at their weddings. Just people who are very like quality control, very geared towards people.
Now, for any hairstylist or organization listening in right now, any hair stylist company in New York or California, anywhere that want to get involved, how do they get in touch with you guys?
They can reach out to us online. We actually have a section on our website that's for salon outreach. And if they want to be a part with YANTRA, another really cool incentive that we are doing with the salons that we are going into is that they also get to pick a charity for themselves to offer their clients that are checking out with YANTRA product. Everybody kind of gets to have like a home-based charity, I guess.
Yeah.
For their salons. So that's one of the coolest things to me, because it would be a good one to still be able to impact my community locally.
Yes. Yeah, it's awesome. And everyone benefits. And I know when I've talked to customers, it's something that's important to them. When they hear a company that is giving, they're like, hey, I want to shop with these people. And so anyone can go to yantrabeauty.com, check out all your wonderful products and what you have going on. Thank you so much for sharing your great wisdom today. Is there any last notes on beauty you'd like to share with our audience?
Don't be afraid to do it.
That's right.
Do it now, do it in 10 years, do it whenever you feel like it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, beauty's beauty. You're going to feel empowered. You're going to feel beautiful.
That's right.
Glam squad behind you.
That's right. And you don't know how, like one gal was scared to try like color, a funky color. I said, you know what? You've got a bunch of hair. She had massive hair. I like put it underneath, like another small color on the end or something. And to get exciting, put your hair up and let it show and just get fun with it. Enjoy it. And like I was telling my friend before, we've lost that sense of play when you become an adult. And you can bring that sense of play with fashion and hair color and all that good stuff, and just start where you're at. Don't think you have to go and do something that you see on the catwalk day one. Just
absolutely. And take pictures.
Yes.
Take a bunch of pictures into your stylist, because I love it when people bring in pictures, because you can gauge personality off of a 5-picture spread.
Absolutely. Well, this has been tremendous, Luca. I want to thank you again for coming to share on Savvy Business Radio. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Savvy Business Radio broadcasts worldwide via a large podcast network celebrating business owners, entrepreneurs, influencers, and successful individuals. Find out about our paid sponsorship opportunities or how to become a guest. Call 732-474-7375 or email Christina@savvybusinessradio.com.